Hi, Jeanette.
Hi, April.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm a little frustrated,
Have a
but
great
I'm
day.
doing okay.
That's good.
The scale's going in the wrong direction, and so I'm getting frustrated about it.
Ignore the scale.
Because I'm like 295, and I don't like weighing that much.
Their
Yeah,
priorities,
ignore
but
it.
she did mention that everybody was in Columbus this week, and it's just
Hi,
that time
Colin.
of year.
Nick,
What's going on, guys?
you magnificent son of a bitch.
Easy. Ego check.
What's up, Roscoe?
Good to see you.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Well, afternoon, really, for me. But
Yes, good afternoon also here.
Hey, Nana.
Hi.
Hi, Peggy.
I'm getting Dropbox.
Good morning, everybody.
Whoa. What was that?
have the robots finally come for us?
That sounds horrible.
Sounds like minions.
Who is that?
Who is that?
Oh my
It was
God.
Pete, what are you doing over there, dog? What is going on?
Pete and repeat.
All right, I keep admitting people. I'm trying to get them the Dropbox refreshed.
Hey, Nick.
What's up, Colin?
Nothing much.
Letting some more people trickle in here. Getting some pretty good turnouts recently. So that's pretty exciting.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Elise.
Morning.
Hi, Elise.
Um, all right. Damn, 8 more. We've got 57. That's pretty cool.
Hey, Nick.
Nice.
So, there's go away.
57 and a half.
57 and a half. Good morning, Ketch. You didn't wake the neighbors up with your training this morning?
No, by the way, I gotta say that I can't wait for next week when Adam's not here and I'm not doing it early, because there's a special hardness to putting down weights lightly. It's like everything becomes a little bit of a slow eccentric.
Mm-hmm.
But you did it because you couldn't hear a sound after you screwed up the first time.
You're better than me, because if I had to do yoke carries in a neighborhood at 4 o'clock in the morning, everyone's gonna know about it.
The yoke carries killed me because I needed to add weight, but it was going to be loud as hell to add weight. So I was just going in circles around our lemon tree with the yoke.
Yeah, I'm not setting 800 pounds down gently. Nope. Everybody's waking up at 4:30. Sorry. Not sorry.
But I just wanted to say now I have to go make my kids breakfast before I go meet Adam. So I'll see you guys.
Okay. Thanks for popping in, Ketch.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Have fun with
Ketch.
our man. He's here to help all of you.
Bye.
Bye, Colin.
All right, so it's kind of starting to trickle down. So I'll just keep admitting them as they pop in. But we're gonna go ahead and get this gravy train rolling. So we've got 89 submissions. So for those of you, this is your first time, these can get a little bit lengthy. I've hit 4 hours here before, but I don't like leaving any stone unturned. Occasionally, I will split them up into two if I have a pressing time constraint. But either way, they all get done. So, yeah, we're going to kick it off with Mirjam squat assessment. So let's see what we're working with. So she did some heel elevation. She mentioned in the chat, if I remember correctly, she has some restriction in some places when it comes to ankle mobility. Your squat is actually, I like it. There's not mechanically anything bad going on here. I think what I want you to focus on is really kind of staying back into that midfoot and heel, especially when you get with a bar on your back. Some people tend to drift forward into the toe. So for those of you that are new, that why she's elevating her heels. So in a normal practice, it creates anterior tilt. So tailbone to the sky. Anterior tilt would be hips going here, interior here. We want to create neutral spine. So typically in deadlift, we anterior tilt, and in squat as well, we anterior tilt. The heels up kind of pushes up into that position. It also, for people with longer legs, i.e. the femur specifically, where if we're talking like if this is our knee and this is our hip, if this is a big distance and our midfoot's here, our center and where in perspective to where the weight is further back from the midfoot distribution. So elevating the heel allows us to not fold over as more to make up for that femur distance, where as someone with like me with a short femur distance can squat more vertically. Being folded over in a squat isn't bad. It's a way, and it just depends on body length. So Mirjam, in a nutshell, your squat pattern is not bad at all.
Thank you.
This is absolutely something we can work with. You teed it up like it was going to be way worse.
Yeah, my problem was that my let's say my not injured leg, the other one, the right one is the good one, and I thought I have all the weight on the good one and not very much weight on the injured one. So this is why I submitted.
No, I'm glad you did. This is good because movement pattern wise, you move good. There's nothing alarming or drastically wrong. What is your biggest concern moving forward with this stuff?
At the moment, only that I train only one leg and not the other.
Okay, so you're not. I don't see any imbalances. I don't see really any sort of drastic shift going on.
Okay.
I would love to see you squatting under load and see what that looks like. Because typically when we go up in effort, sorry about that. We go up in effort, it's things start to come to the surface because of the stress it puts on the body. Certain things start to deteriorate. So I'd love to see what a high effort working set looks like for you. And then that might bring some things to the surface to address. But fundamentally, this assessment's good. You have a sound position. I want to see what it looks like under pressure.
Okay, I will do. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So next, Laura. All right. So we've got some seated. This is your first one, right?
Yes, it is.
These are fantastic. You're not hinging and using a ton of what I call body English to row that into you. You've got a nice neutral position here. You've got a good squeeze at the top. You're not yanking on it. It's nice, fluid, controlled. You're getting all the important things here.
My head is getting big.
This is good. And typically when people, oh, you fancy, you got the remote. Go ahead. You typically what I've learned, you remind me of some of the others in here, like Elise and stuff, that are like, oh, it's terrible, it's bad, I'm nervous. And then they send me a video, and it's like it's this, and I'm like,
Okay, so I have to give you some background. There's 130 pounds on that. And my husband kept telling me, you've got to be doing it wrong because there's no way you're pulling 130 pounds properly.
So,
like, oh, hello.
The nuance with the cables is a lot of high-end machines, they calculate, like, it might say 130 pounds, but due to the pulley system,
I know
it's like 260, but it has to read 130 because that's in hand.
Right.
But the reality is, so who knows? And actually, who gives a fuck? I don't.
Yeah.
I don't, as long as the effort's there and the technique's there. I don't care how much weight you lift or lack thereof, as long we have a bunch of people in here doing body weight.
Right.
So you were worried about nothing.
Good. Thank you. Well, we'll see what you think about the next one.
I hope to see more submissions from you in the future. You move well.
You will, I promise.
Okay, compound lift. Here we go. Meat and potatoes. Nice little home gym setup.
Thank you.
Not a bad rack position, but we got some work there.
Yeah, I'm not going down far enough for sure.
So yeah, this is going to be a simple fix, because it's nothing is breaking down. You're not folding in the lumbar. You're not collapsing. Have you watched the masterclass video where I talk about breathing and bracing?
Yes, and I will say that the brace is something I'm having a really hard time wrapping my head around. There are times when I can really feel it and I know I've got it, but I'd say probably 90% of the time I'm like, I'm not sure it's there. I'm not sure I'm doing it right.
Here's how we're going to practice it. And this is my go-to for everyone, because I would say 90% of the time, this is what gets it to click for people. In the off 10%, I have some other tricks up my sleeve. You're going to lay on the floor and take one of those 10-pound weights, put it on your stomach. And then you're going to put your fingers literally just like this. I'm going to do it for you. Sorry, it's a mess down here. I had to remove ceiling tiles. I had a copper pipe leak. So I'm moving all the tiles to make sure the mold and stuff. Home ownership, right? So I'm going to lay on the floor. And all I'm going to do, feet out in front of me, I'm going to put the weight right here. I'm going to take my hands and put it underneath where my back arches, the small, or you can have your husband do it. And when you inhale, you should feel that plate rise.
Okay.
And the peak of it rise, and the peak of that air being pulled in, you're going to bear down on it. And you're going to pull your back, then expand down into your hand.
Okay.
And what that does is we're creating internal pressure. That's the brace. So the core supports our back. So when we're wearing a belt, right, if you're not bracing, it's literally doing nothing. So when it comes to that specifically, and that's what's going to give you some support here as well as position.
Okay.
With your rack position's actually really close. You want your hands just outside your shoulders. All you need is fingertips.
Okay.
And then you can get those elbows out in front of you. It should open up a little bit more mobility. If you want those elbows high, put the bar actually on the delt, kind of across the area.
I just want to say for all the new people, I have arthritis in both my hands and my wrists, which will probably require surgery at some point. I could not do this when I first started.
Simple solution.
So,
do you have lifting straps?
I do.
Okay, so you're going to take a lifting strap. Actually, the front squat tutorial that we uploaded in the masterclass, there's an alternative in there for people just like you. That create handles using the strap so you can get here. Okay. Because I know there are exceptions when it comes to, oh, it hurts versus like, no, there's a medical diagnosed reason that creates a limit. Because there's a lot of people that tell me, no, I can't. And then I push them hard enough and I'm relentless enough that they go, oh, I can. I'm like, I fucking told you.
Well, that's what happened to me. I mean, I never would have gotten here without that. So I appreciate your help.
Yeah, I just hounded you until you submitted.
Well, yeah, it's just like losing the gloves. It was like you just gave me enough shit about it that I finally was like, fine.
So, watch my homework for you. Watch that tutorial on the front squat. Look at the part with the straps, specifically. And I want you to get, before every single workout, I want you to do 3 rounds of 5 reps of that breathing and bracing exercise.
Okay.
And
I'll add it to my warm-up.
And it's the last thing you do before you get under a bar.
Okay.
And then when you get under this, I don't want you to worry about squatting down to depth yet. It's a very important thing. Okay. It's going to happen. I want you to get comfortable in rack position. Okay. And I want you to start squatting down till you feel like you're going to fold over with a 3 tempo. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, up. Let's just get you comfortable in the right position, keeping that chest proud. When you're in here, peel those elbows out, keep that back tight, getting you in position, getting you comfortable, and then let's show your body you can sit down with this.
Perfect.
All right.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Richard Danielson, looks like we got some single leg RDLs.
Yeah.
Those are actually really good. I can see you primarily loading that front foot. You're keeping that hip forward. You feel a nice big stretch underneath that glute.
Yes, I did. I started out with a low weight to make sure I'm doing them right before I really
you
move
nailed
up in
these.
weight.
You're not going down to a point where you're starting to get into flexion. Your arms look good too, dude. Nice.
Thank you.
See if anything stands out. So the one thing I want you to do is right before you hinge and you get into that position, I want you to brace, set your whole back, because you're reaching down, and thoracic flexion is okay. But what I don't want to see it happen is it waterfall into lumbar flexion. That thoracic flexion is okay, but I want to see you set and see how I'm tight from here to here.
Yeah.
Versus a little bit loose, set, hinge, up. And you should feel a little bit more tension in the hamstring sooner due to that connective posterior being all together and tight.
So would you say just bring my shoulder blades together like a bench press and then go down after I brace?
Think not slam them together, not to that extent.
Okay.
It's a subtle, it's a little bit more subtle. I'm not slamming them together. I'm just peeling them. Think turning them back and down. So it's not here, it's Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
I can only go so far because my lat is torn.
Yeah, you're good. I appreciate you showing me.
Yes, sir. What we got here?
The barbell lunges.
Okay. Great. Loved how you did all that. Now, if my Wi-Fi will cooperate, that'd be neat. Good. Not slamming down, not bouncing off the ground, controlled, nice space, gap between front and back foot. Feeling that quad heavy?
Yeah.
Good. You're not bending over and folding, you're staying rigid together. Dude, you're fucking cooking with bacon grease now, dog. Like you're nailing things. Like once we got this is what I mean, guys. is why form checks are important. He came to this and was very disconnected from his body and positioning and squat, bench, deadlift, everything. And the carryover from creating that motor skill and that awareness in your body on what things feel like carries over into other movements. So like him being up in that position and staying upright in the lunge and not folding over down into flexion, he learned that squatting and deadlifting, applied it to these other things, and he knows he can probably, correct me if I'm wrong, but you probably have a better sense of what position your body's in now.
Yes, definitely.
You've built the physical,
especially from the
feedback.
Right, from the back squats,
this is why
especially.
listening to your body is important, and you're showing an excellent example of. We should do like a comparison. We should do like a video sequence of people's first form checks to current, because I think that'd be really, really cool for some people to see.
Yeah, it might help someone want to come in. Thank you again.
Always, dude. And I see you guys in the comments, Richard, you included, Sandra and Peggy and April and everyone, Benoit, Ian, sorry if I missed your name, talking these newcomers into doing this. I know this can be a very vulnerable thing, being on camera in front of a bunch of people, but everyone's here for the same reason. And you're being watched by people that were in the same exact place you were on their first submission. All right, Jeanette, we got some deadlifts.
This was 205.
Moving speedy. Nice. This is a good set.
This wasn't like a program. I was just doing deadlifts on my own that day.
What program are you on?
I'm doing foundation with Jen, but I did 2 days and then I restarted. So basically on day 1 again.
Okay. Well, your deadlifts look good.
Thanks.
Christian, looks like we have some. Also, another side note. When you submit your video up here, I'd love if you guys could type out your name along with the movement, or any sort of context, because when we go in and so for people that watch back or say you missed the form check, it can timestamp. I think Ketch uses AI or something. It can timestamp based on me saying your name and the movement beforehand, and knowing the movement allows for me to coach it correctly, because sometimes new people are somewhere in between two movements. It's not uncommon. It's okay. But it helps me give what you're trying to accomplish there. Christian. Everything's good, except one thing I want you to pay attention to is the transition point. See how you stay here when you catch? With a clean and press. There's so many people tired of hearing me say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Clean and press. So when we receive the bar, we stand up with it. We re-brace. This is our moment to re-engage for the press. So it's clean. Clean, boop, up. Get set. Then dip and drive. You don't need to go right into the press. This is what would be called a reactive press at full speed. It's a nuanced thing. You see it in conditioning, you see it in CrossFit. When you catch that bar, stand up, set your feet, re-brace, dip, drive. And if you're going to be in this rack position, it needs to be up here on top of your delts, not down in front. Because as you get heavy and you get loaded with weight, that is going to come off of that shelf. We want that completely packed in there. And if you're push pressing with leg drive, we want leg drive to go right into the bar. So the bar launches it, and our press takes it away. So clean, stand up, press. Blanca, you have a question?
Yes, I do. I mean, I didn't upload anything in the Dropbox. But I don't know how to put it. It's mainly about. Hello?
Yep, you're good. I had to meet someone.
Oh, sorry,
Okay.
sorry. Yes. So I started a week ago, but well, I started with the app a week ago, and I already did 3 workouts. However, I have an issue with my knees and my shoulders. I've had steroid shots on both my
Mostly
shoulders,
just
and
there's chat that goes on and
um.
Go ahead. I got
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. So I noticed that I started with the intermediate dumbbell. Like I've done I used to do weightlifting, so that was a while ago, and I decided to start again. However, I use dumbbell. I did notice that my elbow was feeling a bit niggly, and I went to a yoga class, and it just got so bad. Like yesterday was so painful. It was coming from my shoulder to my elbow, and I have what do they call tennis elbow?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of stuck. I actually dropped out of the program, and I decided to start with just body weight. I don't know if I'm doing it if it was just the yoga class, because I didn't know it was that set it off, but I haven't used weights in such a long time that I don't know if I'm
here's
stuck
the thing.
or
Here's the thing. What I can't give you a definitive answer because I can't see how you're moving. You're right. What you're asking of me right now is, can you give me a price of my car without the color, the make, the model, and the mileage?
No.
I can't. So this is why being able to see the movement patterns, seeing the things that cause the pain, the irritation, and just your overall form when you're doing some of these things will give me a ton of information and feedback to give you A, potential solutions, and B, workarounds to mitigate when things like that happen, because tendonitis, tennis elbow, all that thing, it happens. But I need to see the movement pattern happening to be able to have a better understanding of why you're having these issues.
So should I upload like the exercises that involve that, like dumbbell? It was I think I used it like
yes, you can.
bench
I
press
have
ups and
to
stuff like
limit
that.
it to 2 videos per people because I'd have 200.
No, please.
So if upload them, throw them in the Dropbox, and if they're in there by the end of this, it'll get done today. If not, it'll get done next week. But they will get done. They will get seen. You can upload them at any point before the Zoom checks. And
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Thank you.
Yep. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Colin.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna say this because we have a bunch of new people. Colin has cerebral palsy. So we have to do some things a little bit differently. One of the hurdles we're overcoming is him getting down on the bench, and his gem of a wife, and is also a member, is helping him. This is one of the things we discussed, was potentially having a helping hand versus some other solutions when she may not be with him for a workout. Your press is really good. It's strong. We need to generate more stability out of you, though.
Thanks.
So what I want to challenge you to do is, instead of pressing here, create tension to bring it here. And how I want you to start that tension. I want you to, you know how I'm always telling people to pack their lats? I know it works a little bit differently for you. I don't want you to start your tension, and this is specific to him, so anyone listening, just watch for entertainment. I want you to start your tension from the top, your fists down, because we need to get that tension that you have when the weight's further away from you ingrained down here, where things get a little bit squirrely, right? So what I want you to do is squeeze really, really hard with your pinkies.
If I can
Yes.
Squeeze.
Yeah, with this side of your hand, these two fingers, whatever. When you're holding those dumbbells and you're pressing, I want you to squeeze with everything you got with those pinkies. So what that'll do is it'll create the message to bear down, to do this.
Okay.
So that will take you from here to somewhere in here if we're squeezing there, and we're generating tension the entire time when you're loaded versus down at rest. As well as keeping that chest proud as best you can and finding that stability at the lockout. So for your pressing with the dumbbells, because stability is everything for you, I want to challenge you also to do a 4-count eccentric. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, and then press at your own pace. Really fight for that lockout. I don't think you have any issue with power. It's getting the power to translate into what you're trying to press.
So I'm doing negatives.
Yes. In theory, yeah. Negatives. We're doing the 4-count eccentric. You're going to squeeze hard. You're going to press. And at the top, when you're fighting for that lockout and trying to hold for a 1,000 as close to lockout or locked out as possible, that's where I want Ann to kind of hover. Because if you're going to go, it's going to be up here.
Yeah.
So the translation, she does a very good job at spotting you.
Yeah.
But I want her to pay attention to your stability at the top and in the bottom the most.
Okay.
All right?
Thanks.
Good job, Colin.
See ya.
See you, brother. Elise. Angry Elise. There's kind of a running joke because she's the most gentle creature. And,
I already know I did it wrong.
I was trying to get her to generate some explosiveness. I wanted it violent. So I said, I want to see angry Elise. And look at that. Ferocious.
I already know I did it wrong. I didn't. I'm staying with my knees bent. I'm pausing, but I'm not locking out.
You're also out front on this portion. I want you to basically pitch back, suck your knees back a little bit, shift backwards. So the angle, the telltale is right here. See that?
Yeah.
That space you generated right before you pulled?
Right.
Right. So, here. Boom. You just pitched forward. That bar is almost out front of your shoulders.
Okay.
But it's past your toes. We still need that bar over midfoot.
Right. So the problem I'm having is when I do these, it doesn't hurt while I'm doing them, but next day and for sometimes a week or more, it's really hurting. It's really bothering my hip. And I don't know why.
I'm going to guess it's this position. We're putting a lot of torque in this part of our body right here because of how far away the bar is from center foot and center line. This is your center line right here.
Mm-hmm.
Bar's out here, which creates more torque in the load bearing in the lumbar and the hips.
All right.
So they're stressing more even under lighter weight because it's upped the felt load via leverage. So
okay.
Let's go to hang cleans for you.
All right.
Let's work top down. And then we can adjust your position here over time and also potentially alleviate the issue so you can keep clean and pressing.
Okay.
So the hang clean, if is really like kind of the start of an RDL. We push our hips back and then we fire into the high pull and we catch, we stand up, press.
Okay.
So let's run with the hang cleans. I'd be curious to see after about a week or two if you're still experiencing the hip pain.
All right. I think what I was trying mostly concentrating on was initiating from more of a squat position than and then deadlift or
The
RDL position?
a true clean position in the hole is somewhere between a deadlift and a lower hip position like a squat. So you're not wrong in your thought process, but the execution didn't translate. That's all. So a clean position has a little bit wider arm width, not like a snatch, but a little bit wider arm width, and our hips drop a little bit. And it's why you see like Olympic lifters, why their quads are always so massive, is because of their clean position. It's very quad heavy. But we can get there. There's no rush, and let's eliminate the thing that's causing pain and getting you clean and pressing in a manner that's pain-free, and see if that pain still persists, because if it does, then I'll evaluate differently. But that's my hunch as of right now. So let's eliminate it to a hang clean for a few weeks and see what happens.
Okay. All right. I'll try it. I mean, it's pretty consistent. I mean, it's like a given. As soon as I do this, it's next day. And I can't, like, even a chiropractor can't like fix it. I have to do a lot of hip openers and contortions.
Do you get sports massage?
I do. I have a lot of just that area where I've had my fusion. I get a lot of inflammation. There's a lot of scar tissue back there, and it just gets aggravated, and it's just what my life is now. So I have to have somebody actually work it out.
I want you to reply in my comments, in my article, of, if you don't mind, the procedure and all the details of what, where, everything.
Okay.
I want a full picture. And then I can start kind of throwing other solutions at you to kind of incorporate into your workout that could potentially alleviate some or more pain, and also strengthen. Okay. All right.
I mean, it's just frightening because I don't want to go back and do that again. It was a horrible experience.
Yeah, which is why I want all the info, because I don't want to hurt you.
Yeah. I don't want to hurt me either.
The other option would be go into a sports physio, a sports PT, and get an assessment and have them move you around and have them really dig in and kind of develop a procedure for that.
Yeah, it's just finding someone. I mean, because usually the first answer is, well, don't do that anymore.
That's why I said sports PT.
I know, but I'm saying like finding one is.
Where are you at in the world?
I'm in Carlsbad, California.
Where's
near
that?
It's San Diego.
My PT is in San Diego.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yes. I want to connect you. I'll reach out to him, because even if he doesn't have the time schedule wise, because he's also doing a lot of stuff for like university and sports teams, he's gonna know someone good.
Okay.
All right. So change of plan. Go to customer service, write a ticket, say I sent you. They're gonna have you email me, and I want you to send me an email with all the details.
Okay.
And then I will then take that to my people, and my people will reach out to your people, okay?
All right, that's great.
Realistically, what will happen is I'll reach out, and then I will get a point of contact for you, for whoever, if he can, or someone he recommends, and I will send you that point of contact, and then you take it from there.
All right, that's great. I mean, I'll pretty much do anything to rectify this. Like,
I'll remember you said that.
Hey, bring it on! Bring it on.
You got it. All right,
I'm ready.
cool.
I'll do it. I've done absolutely everything under the sun to correct my issues with too much gymnastics and springboard diving when I was a kid. So,
oh boy, yeah, it's a lot of impact.
A lot of impact.
All right, Elise, we'll get you squared away.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Always. Jan, side view front squats have right hip impingement. Get those elbows up. Yeah. Elevate your heels. I'd be curious if that almost didn't take it away, or relieve it in some way, shape, or form. This goes back to what I was talking about earlier. She's got she got some long legs, and specifically her length is right here in her femur. So it creates more of an angle right here to get this line over midfoot. And right now, if you look, it's slightly out front. So we're going to have high sensory input here in the hip because of where this leverage is appearing. So by elevating her heels will allow her to be less folded over to stay over the center, which could reduce torque felt in the hip. So let's elevate the heels. Let's see how that feels, and we'll go from there. Low incline bench press. So she was using the Smith machine. Now she's using a bar. Much better. Already better. We're going a little far up here. And you see where you're holding that weight, and you're using a cheater bar too, so that changes the dynamic. I was going to say, see where you're holding the weight in your hand? We want it over, right? So we want it here, not back here. So it's over the powertrain where we input to the bar. But the bar path is pretty good. We're just exaggerating a little bit much coming over almost the forehead. But that definitely looks better than the Smith machine. The other thing would be creating so we're not pressing with our shoulders here, all that travel. We go down and we go back.
You're almost done. Click open file.
You're almost done. Drake M. What do we got? Some sort of dumbbell. Okay, so it's just a deadlift. We're getting a little bit forward. See those heels getting light. I would strongly recommend, Drake, you doing these without basically sponges on your feet. But your actual hinge pattern is fine. You've got great neutral spine position. And a dumbbell deadlift is much deeper range of motion. So typically we see a little bit more flexion, but I would recommend you drop the shoes, do it in your socks, barefoot, whatever, and focus on grabbing the floor with your feet and staying in that midfoot to heel with your weight. We don't want to get into the toe. We want to grab with our toes. We don't want to roll into the toe. And this goes back to what Jen was talking about on her with the lunges. It's the same practice on every load bearing thing we do. We're grabbing the floor with our feet. Paul Kinsella looks like a back squat. Beautiful. Absolutely buried it. Paul, these are fantastic. Well done. Well done. I'm happy with these. Keep on keeping on. Tish, squat, better feet. Tish, are you in here? No? Okay. Let's get you some heel elevation. Because it looks like we're high. We're high. How we're squatting is good, but we're high. I see the input into the foot, but it looks like for you to go any deeper, you're going to start to collapse. So let's do with some heel elevation and see if that opens up some range of motion for you, whether it be lifters or plates. That's going to be our next thing we throw at it and see what happens. And I want to see how your body responds, your foot input. Your actual squat form is okay. We just need to get more depth out of it. And let's see what that looks like with some heel elevation. Andy, clean and presses. Boom, stand up. Good. Gets his feet set, dips and drives. Andy fucking nailed these.
Thanks, Nick.
Boop. Yep. Look at that. Sets his feet for the press. Boom. Throws and catches. You can probably get a little bit more leg drive out of that.
Okay. Yep. You had me working on my front rack position from last time. So
front rack position is stellar. Okay. Yeah, we definitely could. So here's the thing that we're going to focus on now. When you're dipping, see how you sag forward?
Mm-hmm.
So you've got good range for the leg drive, but it doesn't have that pop.
Yep.
So what we're going to do is, you see, you could even experiment with pointing your toes out slightly more. Because what I want it to do, you can't see my feet. What I want it to do, so I have a fairly wide, when I get really, really heavy, I have a fairly, I'm almost just outside my shoulders because of, I want a ton of glute tension to throw and catch, but different ranges of motion, different mobility factors for different people. So what we want is those knees to track over like your last two toes. So if you look, I'm not sagging forward. So what it looks like from the side is I'm going out. I'm not sagging forward. So here to here allows for a much harder input. And it keeps everything in a nice vertical line versus that sag and that kind of change. Because if you look, watch your hips. They come forward.
I see. Yep.
Yep. Now the bar's past center. Now you've got a hint. And then when you throw, you lose potential leg drive into the bar because it's a sag versus a bang, bang. So it's going to create a much more tense dip and drive.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. We're polishing, man. This is a great place to be.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Nick.
Yes, sir. Don Kaufman, looks like pull-ups. Good. Oh, just one. Okay. Let me go back. So with these, overall, it's good. That initial pull right there. I don't want you to initiate with your arms. When you're spread out like that in the bottom, I want you to initiate with the back. So it's bang, 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 and then all together. You want to make it all one motion. But getting that back into it sooner recruits a much bigger set of muscles to start to break that inertia from the dead hang. Matt J, deadlift. Okay, RDLs. Got it. Keep your RDL width at your deadlift width. Because that's what it's going to translate to. So if this is the width you deadlift, where the way you picked it up, that's what I want you to RDL with. But you're doing a great job of getting your hips back behind you. Really reach those hips behind you. Like there's a chair, or you're trying to shut a door. That's another one we use here. But really pushing those hips is really what's putting it into the hamstrings. Good hinge position though. Lauren Young, RDLs.
Hey, man.
Wait, arse shifted back.
Just remove the R and add another S, and it's
Yeah.
the American version.
It's like the South African and British way to say it.
Yeah.
These are good. What I love is this concentric. Boom! Look at that big squeeze at the top. We're building.
Gotta build that booty. Okay, so this is the position I should hold. You told me to squeeze my bum back, and I absolutely stuck my ass back.
Yes. Push back,
Okay,
squeeze through.
Okay, great.
You crush these.
Yes, excellent. Now on to squats. I forgot to mention last week on my squats, one of the difficulties I have is that I've had 2 bones fused on my right foot. So like foot mobility is not great anyway. So I'll do some more videos with some heels underneath, and you can check my foot mobility.
Yeah, let's take a look at it because there's ways around that.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Coach Nick.
Yes, ma'am. Dave Vetzlavic, barbell stiff leg deadlifts. Good. Great job, Dave. So these, again, I'm only reiterating this because we have a lot of new people in here. Stiff leg deadlifts and RDLs are different, but they're similar. And I don't hound about the nuances between the two. Technically, a stiff leg deadlift is from the floor. An RDL is what you're seeing technically Dave do right now. RDL exaggerates the butt back, and the range of motion stops when our range of motion stops, when the back starts to fold to reach further depth. So we maintain a very strict hinge pattern. A stiff leg deadlift is a deadlift off the floor with as little leg drive as your range of motion allows. So our butt comes up as high as it can go without creating a fold in the lumbar. The reason why I don't hound on one or the other is because they're both very heavy on the hamstring and glute. That they're still hitting the main drivers very similarly. Odds are you can probably do more weight on a stiff leg than you can an RDL because of the constant tension that comes with an RDL and how it really just isolates it a little more. But I'm not being a stickler in this setting. I am with my actual athletes because I require a higher motor skill pattern from them. But for something like this, it doesn't really matter as much as it doesn't matter as much because at the end of the day, you're hinging in a strict plane that is targeting glutes and hamstrings. So that's why you'll see, SD and a stiff leg deadlift and RDL looks the same. That's because I don't care about the differentiator in this setting as long as we're getting that strict hinge.
So with you saying that, is there more risk of injury reaching for the floor?
It depends. Depends if you're out of position or not.
Okay. So it won't cause any more like strain on the tendons and the hamstrings?
You won't be able to lift like that off the floor. So
right.
For me, my RDL looks like this. My RDL, because I have a lot of glute and hamstring tension naturally, my RDL looks like this. I barely get to the top of my knees. I even, like, my toes get light. My stiff leg deadlift, I'm here. I just literally tilt my hips so I get out of flexion in the lumbar. I'm down at the bar. Notice how I'm not dropping down. I pull myself down into tension for a regular deadlift like I do for a stiff leg deadlift. So I pull, okay, that's as high as they can be where I can maintain position. If I go any higher, I have to start rounding. But it's eliminating most of my leg drive. So could it be more risk? Sure, if you don't know how to find your position.
Okay. I'll give it a shot tomorrow.
Okay, cool. Let me know. Tyler, looks like I'm going to guess deadlifts. Oops. Zach, you had a question?
I had a question about something for me, but I don't have a video, so I was
hit me real quick.
Okay, so my question is about like a pec fly. I no matter whether I'm on the pec deck, the machine or a bench, I can't seem to feel it in my pecs. It's always my shoulders, and it's almost like it's like upper shoulder here. I have really, really long arms. I don't know if that has something to do with it, but I just didn't know if there's something without showing a video, kind of like Blanca earlier. But
odds are, if I had to guess, because it's very common when people do flies, it's the same thing people neglect on a bench press. It's this lat packing.
Okay.
So we're stacking our shoulders on our lats. When we're doing flies, we get a lot of this.
Yeah.
So if we're actually trying to really recruit the pec and make it be a main driver, our elbow line is in line with our, I'm not here. And I am proud chest with my lats tight.
Okay.
So you notice how when I come forward, I'm not driving forward this way?
Yeah.
So I'm packed in, I'm screwed in the back, and I'm here, I'm letting it stretch out at the pec, and then I'm squeezing and pulling it to, even without weight, I felt that.
Okay. All right, I'll try that out because, like I said, I had to adjust the machine, I guess, depth, whatever it would be, up pretty high because no matter where I was going, up, down, handle, the bench was going up and down. I couldn't feel it anywhere but my shoulders. And it was, obviously, I know that's not where it's supposed to go. So
I'm, just so I don't sound cocky, 80% sure.
Okay.
That is probably the reason.
All right, I'll try it and check back in later.
Record it for me. Let me see.
Yeah. Can do.
Cool.
Thanks, Nate.
So, Tyler, your deadlift is pretty sound. We're out front, especially on that first pull. So what I mean by that, watch when you pull in. You do a great job of pulling yourself down into tension. I love it. Boom. Fires right down there. Doesn't mess around. But look at that. You are behind the bar. So you pull down almost a little too deep, and it pushes that bar out away from you. Watch. Now it's going to come back. Now you're rotating. Now you're in bar path. But now look how your leg drive's done, and you're still halfway through the pull. Your leg drive should still be in sync with the hinge. So let's see how the second rep looks, because typically the first rep is always the worst for people. Yeah. So you're trying to squat your deadlift in a way. So odds are, what I want you to do is when you pull down in position, I don't want you to go as far down. I want you to stop somewhere in, see if I can mark it on here. And we're going to pull everything from a dead stop from now on. So let's see. So this is going to be a better hip position for you, but what's going to have to happen is you're going to have to come back. So literally you're just going to shift your weight back and let your hips come up ever so slightly. From here to here, it's going to suck your knees back. Because we need to get into this position sooner. So one thing you can practice doing is stand up with a bar with 135 on it, brace, and slow eccentric, reverse engineer your deadlift. Slow eccentric down. So reverse engineering, what has to happen, our hips have to come back, hips slide back, now knees start to bend, and ride that all the way down to the ground. And let's see what your position looks like when you reverse engineer it, because gravity does a really good job. So those are the main takeaways that I see with your deadlift. And that's what we will focus on, is basically your start position. And then everything from there is going to be gravy, dude. Giannis, Deadlift, 140 kilo. You got a PR. All right. See what we're working with. Congrats on the PR, first and foremost. A little out of position, which means in position, you've got more in the tank. Let's see. I don't know what that was. Where's the pull start? See, boop, we kicked up, kicked forward. Now we've loaded heavy in here. So you almost stiff leg deadlifted this, which means relieving leg drive on the table. So, Giannis, if you could do me a favor on the next deadlift video, can you make the camera higher than the plates for me? So I want to see what this looks like down here. Because I got a hunch, I just don't want to cue it if I'm wrong. But I have an idea of what might need to happen, and I want to see it before I point you in that direction. Congrats on the PR either way. Darryl, RDL. So this is a regular deadlift. Is that what you mean by RDL, regular deadlift? Because that would make more sense. If, in fact, this is a regular deadlift, not bad at all. Good velocity, good speed. See that little slack you put in where you jerk on the bar right on that first rep? That right there. This. That. We don't want to sink down into that because now you slightly shift forward. It releases that tension we build by packing our lats. Jerk it basically the opposite direction. It pulls us out of that brace. You're also a little bit far forward. I need to literally just get you to shift back, not down, back. The other thing is your lockout. It isn't. So this is soft, right? We want hips, shoulders stacked on hips. So lockout, it would be all in line like this. Squeeze your glutes. As you're coming up to the top of that deadlift, squeeze your butt, hips come all the way through. Sandip, we got squats. Dude, these are getting better every single week. Boom. Your depth is better. You see how you kind of kick out at the bottom? Boop, and then you come back up and it almost folds you when you do that. That's where that cue of driving in back into the bar is going to come into play. It's like your hips rise and then your upper body has to catch up. Versus when you hit depth and you fire up out of the hole, you drive back into the bar simultaneously. And what do we got? Deadlifts. Okay. Good. These are actually really good. So another thing, I am not a touch and go person. They don't do, when it comes to just like doing a circuit in a CrossFit setting, I get it. Bang the reps out. But here's why. If any of you are interested in testing 1-reps, testing PRs, touch and goes are easier because we have residual tension from the eccentric. A deadlift, dead stop. Because a 1-rep max PR, you're not going to have that residual tension. It's the first rep. So, Anna, your deadlift overall, I love it. It's sound. The one thing that stands out to me is your first pull. And it has to do with our hip position. So if you watch, right as you pull, you pushed forward versus kind of stayed back ever so slightly. You pushed forward. Now it looks like we're past our toes maybe. And what happens is you input, look at your hips, rise, rise. Now the bar is finally moving. What happened? That bar came back to you. So we were out front and your hips basically forced you into position to get into power, get into leverage. So realistically, that's your deadlift position. That's where your body wanted to be. And I like that much better. So it just straightened you out. And this is why touch and go, if you watch, when she touches and goes, she's in that position already. But gravity put her in line, and B, she maintained tension. The other thing when you do set up on that first rep, you do very well, is you set this lumbar. You don't do it when you do touch and goes. See how we're here versus we set the lumbar, inputs, stays together through mid-range of the rep when torque's high. Versus when we get into touch and go, see the position change? Here, we lost some of it. Starting in a dead stop, rebreathing, rebracing, setting the lumbar, fire. Ingraining the hip position we want every single rep will carry over into 1-rep max and your heavier sets in general. Sandip, bench press. All right, Sandip, you see at the top, look at this daylight underneath the shoulder. So this goes back to that thing where we talk about packing the lats. Your bench press stops here, not here. So now we went from being supported in our back, driving with our chest, using the lats out of the hole, to shoulders being even more load-bearing as a joint. We want to protect the shoulder. We want to press with our chest and upper back. Keep those shoulders screwed in underneath of you.
Okay. Thanks.
Yes, sir. I did your squats. I don't know if you're here for it, but they're looking better. There's some you'll see. There's some cues, and it's one main thing, really. Nothing crazy. They're looking better every week, man. I'm stoked.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I'll reverse the video. Sorry, having connection issues.
No worries. It happens.
Thank you.
Trap bar deadlift. All right. So hip position's a little high here. We're using a lot of hamstring when we could be using a lot of quad as well. So realistically, I just want you to drop your butt. Your knees are going to push forward ever so slightly. We just want, thumb, middle finger to come up the side of our knees. Let's drop your butt slightly. Let's get more of these legs. They're strong. Use them. More of the legs to push the ground away versus pick the bar up. But your hinge pattern, Matt, I love it. It's great. It's fantastic. It's together. Carly, deficit dads.
My favorite girl to watch.
Yeah, she's in prep right now.
She's so great.
Beautiful. Ever so slightly out front, Carly. See how that bar comes back when it comes up off the floor? That was a good rep. I mean, they're all good. That was just the best. Yes. Maryland showing up strong. Let's go. Awesome fucking set. You crushed it. One thing, newcomers, guys, Carly is a mother. She's a wife. She's busy. And she power lifts. She just pulled 300 pounds for the first time in LA this past spring. She got into this, got hooked. Like, this is possible for everyone, just so you know. Like, she's a beacon for people that just want to get strong.
And she works out at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning to get it done.
Yeah, she's a savage. But a sweetheart. And a local Marylander to myself and Roscoe. And so it makes me proud. She works hard. And this is very, very possible. Someone that went from complete and utter novice entry level to we're doing some deeper things in the powerlifting side as well. And she's really taken to it like a fish to water just by her work ethic alone. And she moves well. Look at that face. She's like, fuck that. Why do I do this? She's doing fantastic. So for anyone in here that is curious how someone goes from I'm new to this to powerlifting, like Carly did that and deadlifted 300 pounds. And in person, she's not big. Like you'd be like, her deadlifted 300? And then she rips 250 off the floor and you're like, excuse me? Barrett, cleated, Jesus. Seated, clean and press. Hope you're not wearing cleats. That looks like a hardwood floor. I can see you're thinking. I can see it happening, and that's okay. You're far from the biggest overthinker in the room. I guarantee that. If Benoit's in this chat and Ian are here, they take the cake. So, one thing, we're going to dress this from the top down. See where you're pressing? You're pressing out front. We want to press towards the top of our head. So you're really creating a lot of demand out of the delt, kind of making it harder versus pressing over our head. Here, proud chest, pressing over our head, the clean. I don't want you to think about it as much. I want you to get a little bit of come down, get a little bit of a backswing bit, and then as it comes forward, yank up. Just yank straight up and then pop under. So it's back, forward, up, shrug, flip. You've got the right idea. I can see you thinking through it. It's okay. But those are the real only two things. We'll sort those, and you can turn up the heat on these. Well done. Mark. This is cool.
Hey, Nick.
Got some deadlifts. I love this position so far. All right, Mark. So one real subtle thing is we're past our bar. So if you look at the end of the barbell in relation to our shoulders, right?
Right.
As you come up off the floor, when that load gets heavier, what's going to happen is that's going to actually swing away from you. It's light enough that your back tension prevents it. But on, say, something higher weight, max effort, it's going to swing because gravity is going to put this in line. So it's a matter of like if you hold a weight from a string and you hold it here and the top of the string's here, it's going to swing towards that center, right?
Right.
This is the weight. This is the string. This is what's holding the string. So getting that in line helps with bar path and how efficient our pull feels. So all this is going to look like for you is, let's get to right before your pull starts. Your hinge pattern, everything I love. It's just going to be the position. So realistically, we can get more leg drive out of this. So what I'm going to have you do is take your hips. You're going to take this whole position, shoulders, hips, and you're going to go here.
All right.
Just a slight rotation, change nothing else. And what it's going to do is it's going to bring you your shoulders back and your hips ever so slightly lower. You're moving it all as a unit, ever so slightly lower, and you're going to get more quad involved to come off the floor before the hamstrings take over.
All right, cool. I will film next week's and send it to you.
Sounds good, brother. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Rob, we got some overhead pressing. Okay. All right. Not bad. Not a bad start at all. So if you're going to come off the floor, there we go. That was actually better. One thing I want to see. So we're not getting into any sort of extension. We're kind of just muscling this up. So with these, I would like to see, Rob, have you ever done a high pull? And that's where we get into that explosion and into that triple extension. Triple extension needs to be part of a clean because it means we're getting everything into it. Triple extension is we're coming up, we're extending, hips are through. See how my shoulders are slightly behind my hips? I'm extended. So as I'm coming up, I'm driving through my midfoot, pulling up on the bars, my hips come through into extension, dropping back down and catching, standing up. So I want to see that explosiveness. I don't want to see you jerk it off the floor, but I want to see that bar accelerate. And as it comes up, we get our chest back and out of the way, and then we fire under with our elbows. That rack position. If you're going to push press with leg drive, we need that front squat, front rack. Because when we start dipping and driving explosively, if we're in this position, it's going to sag. It's going to bounce. It creates a suspension. It will absorb the leg drive going into the bar. Versus if we are bar in contact with the top of our torso, i.e. our shoulders, the leg drive gets thrown right into the bar to finish with the press. Fundamentally, not a whole, you've got the right idea. So basically, you're going to get those elbows high. You're going to get that bar on your delts. Then you're going to dip and drive. Clean and press. If you have a different press position than your clean position, that's fine. You get to the press position in between. Michael John. Trap bar deadlifts. Good. Arms and shoulders looking jacked. We're a little toe heavy, but I also don't love your footwear for these. I can see the stability happening. All that squishing around. Just kick the shoes off when you deadlift. That's it. Create nice, flat, firm barrier because it kind of puts you a little bit forward. See how we're looking up at the sky when we're down in this position? When you brace, I want you to lock that chin down and back. I don't want you to go down here, neutral. So chin, we're going from here to here. So when we brace, and we're tight. We're not adding another curve to that chain because this is connected to this. So when we struggle, we're here. One of two things can happen. Butt can shoot up, and then we have to correct. Or we try and curl under and cheat because we're trying to look up and back to rise. So let's just kick the shoes off. And I want to see what that looks like. Let's lock down that chin. Thank you. And Wi-Fi doing Wi-Fi things. And oh, that was a big one. That jerk. We don't want to jerk on the bar. Pull in tension, pack the lats, hit hard with our legs. Don't jerk the bar because all that does is it pulls us out of our brace. Ian. Hang clean, first ever. All right, let's party. Not bad, dude.
I had no point of reference, so I just gave it a go.
That's good because you're usually over shit out of things, and you're like, I'm gonna just give it a go.
There's that Scottish accent.
I mean, it sounded cursive to me. You've got the right principles. Obviously, there's going to be some polishing, but look at this. This is great. Look at this hinge. Boom. Inputs to leg drive. Whoa. True. Look at this extension. Look at this. Look at this. This is good. We can get a little bit more out of the hips and the glutes. That will come with time. You need some reps here. This is first one. Look at those high elbows. That's a good thing. That's great. I'm loving it. And then you snap under. And I think that came up a little faster than you expected it to.
I think that's where I was struggling a little bit. I had to put plates on, so I tried to do it with empty bar to start with. And I was just moving too quickly.
Too strong. You're too strong, Ian. Realistically, like when you're warming up on an explosive movement, obviously you can't turn the power up to like 80 with like an empty bar because you're going to knock your teeth out. So there has to be a power curve when we're working up till we get to a certain weight where we can start hitting it hard in the warm up at full speed. But that's that's the warm up process. You know, we're not starting 100%. We're going to empty bar, have it at like 30, then load on some weight, have it at 40, have it at 50% input, 60% input. And then we'll get to probably about, I don't know, 50 to 60% of, say, our 1 rep max where we really start rolling on the power and trying to move lightweight like it's heavy. Hit it hard, hit it fast. So, yes, what you were feeling is a learning curve to learning how to work up and clean and pressing, because if you try and send it on an empty bar, you're going to rearrange your face, the lights, who knows what, because it's too light. So you've got a lot of things right. The rack position, and you're gonna, I don't even want to over cue this right now. I just want you to feel this. Like, this is your first time fucking with this. You've got a lot right. We could get a little bit more hips through. We could get a little bit higher in the elbows on the rise up, and getting it to land where we want it to land on the catch. That specifically is going to take time and practice, because you know where your rack position is. Like you got right to it. Like this. Beautiful. 10 out of 10. Love this. So I'm not really going to feed you anything else here than really focus on that triple extension and accelerating the bar, using a weight to practice this where you can input a little bit harder. And
it was almost like I felt when I really extended through, I was leaving the floor to start with. So I was almost jumping.
And that's the input that's required. You just need a weight to be able to accommodate it.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to cue you here. I want you to get comfortable. because we've
Okay.
got a lot. There's a lot of things I love about this that I'm okay with allowing you to do that.
Okay. Go
Get
for it.
comfortable, get reps. You're new to it. Enjoy the process of being brand new to a new movement pattern, because the longer you do this, the harder that is to find.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about doing the conjugate program. I'm still finishing grit just now, so I
Mhm.
just tack these on at the end, just as like try the technique, see how it feels,
Yeah,
and decide whether to
you
try
know
the
the drill.
program.
Don't put on so much weight it starts digging into your fatigue.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I love that you're getting comfortable. I love it, man.
Cool. Thanks, Nick.
Well done. Push
This is
press.
the next one that I've never done before.
Boop, right up. Okay. I'm not going to say anything.
Back position's different.
Yeah, why?
Don't know.
Ian. Ian's a long time. He understands my humor. This is our love language right now. We're just it's all love. So I want you to, knowing you've been, how long have you been in this Zoom, this meeting?
Since the first one, so
Okay.
whenever that was.
So what do you think I'm gonna say about the rack position?
To get my elbows up,
Why?
like a front squat, to get the weight sitting on my delts, so that when I dip down and push back up, the weight's transferred directly into the bar.
Next fucking video. Nailed it. So like this is, for those of you that don't know, this is something I enjoy about coaching, is because I'm not make you relying on me, coach. I am truly an information and motor skill hungry person. So when I see someone that I'm coaching that's able to look at something and go, oh, I know what I need to do with that, it means I'm doing a good job and I can go pat myself on the back because I don't have to bottle feed Ian anymore. And then it gives independence in your training. And that's ultimately what everyone wants, deserves in this, is that level of autonomy. And him to be able to look at that video, I had to kind of walk him into it this time, but he picked it out right away. He knew. It's his first time. I didn't expect him to get it right. I was pleasantly surprised how much he did get right, because it was his first. Not that you're an idiot. Just that it's a completely new movement pattern. I have zero expectation when someone does a new movement pattern. So when I see them collectively get like 80% of it right, I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, you're great start. So with you being able to look at that and go, this is what I didn't do, this is what I need to do, and this is why I need to do it, like, that makes me happy, because it allows me to, it builds more trust between coach and client. Like, I don't need to tell him that, he knows. Versus then attack something else that needs more attention. Because we're building the big motor skill. He's still going to rely on me to polish and the fine tune the subtleties of it. It's not that he doesn't have a use for me, but I know he can go into training, he can execute, and it makes me happy because that's what he came here to do. Get coached so he can go train without, am I doing it right or am I doing it wrong? Confidence in training feels really, 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 really good. And that's my whole goal here, is to make you guys confident on your execution, in safety, in performance, in, I don't know, I don't even wear shoes that tie, so I'm not going to teach you how to tie your shoes. So like, there's things that make me really, really happy about this. And when I see someone able to do what Ian just did, and kind of, I held your hand on that one a little bit, but you knew, and I knew you knew. I just had to kind of poke you. When I'm able to see someone do that, it makes me happy because they get it. There's confidence there. So another pat on the back, Ian, for being able to assess. Self-assess is a huge tool.
Just a really quick question though. So after I'd done those,
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
So I've just felt it in my lower back, and I don't know if there was something in the technique there that
You felt the what in the lower back?
So just kind of stiffness today. So I did those yesterday. No, sorry,
I mean, you're
Wednesday.
hinging and you're in more extension than you're used to.
Right. Okay. So is that just getting used to the new movement?
It could be. Yeah, I get stiff in my lower back after clean and presses.
Okay.
The heavy ones anyway. But it is a new pattern. So if it persists, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Now pay attention. And if there's pain, you know the drill. Back off.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Thanks, Nick.
Yes, sir. Sarah, barbell deadlift. We get a little bit more leg drive out of that, Sarah, but you've got a strong pull. I think if we have hips go from, it's going to be subtle, but you've got all this quad. Let's fucking use it. It's going to be subtle. I love how you sit into it, sitting into those hips. If we get a little bit more knee bend and literally go from, you see how when you come up off the floor, there's almost we don't really see the legs straightening up until you're almost at the knee, which means we're using a lot of hamstring out of the hole, which tells me we could use more quad. So when you get into that position, our hips are literally going to go from here to here. It's a very minor adjustment. We don't need drastic, but that little bit of quad input right at the beginning is going to start the acceleration sooner. Your hinge pattern, fucking awesome. You're strong. Look at this. Big delts, big glutes, big quads. We've got the fundamentals for a nice, beefy deadlift. We just need to get all of that in the right spot to get it to hammer the throttle and get the response out of the bar we want. I always tell people want abs. I'm like, look, you can tell the motherfucker's strong. Just look at their back and look at their glutes. If those are big, they're gonna grab onto you, and you're gonna struggle. Low incline bench press. Good bar path. Look what I love that she's doing. She's not driving her shoulders so far out of position they're peeling up off the bench. She's keeping that chest proud. She's keeping those shoulders engaged and supported with her back. Good job, Sarah. April, strict clean and press. Another first ever clean and press. Strict press look great.
Elbows need to be up.
Yep. Great start. So the reason why they're where they're at is because you're in a lot of lumbar extension versus thoracic extension. So you're going here to get back, right? We want to get here. So there's here, and then there's thoracic extension. So if I'm trying to get into that strict press position, because there's a difference between push press and strict press. So if I'm trying to I want a shoulder width base so I can squeeze my glutes. I'm going to, just like a bench press, boom, but it's going to be here. Now I'm in thoracic extension. Now the bar is over my hips. Now my elbow's underneath the bar, and I can drive. And this is where you're a little bit more patient on putting the head through, so we can keep those lats, those delts, the chest, everything in it, and then we come up and through.
Okay. Makes sense.
Is it a separate video?
It is.
Okay.
And I listened to everything you said to Rob and Ian, and it can all apply to me.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Be gentle. It's my first time, Nick.
I'm gonna shut the fuck up. Okay, so what do you think I'm gonna say about this?
So many things.
One thing in specific. Look at this
I'm not.
bar in
I'm
relation
not.
to your body.
I'm not catching the bar.
Nope, not even there yet. The bar is like 3 feet away from you right now.
Okay. And that's how it feels. It feels like I'm not shrugging and then getting up underneath it. I'm trying to place the bar up there instead of throw the bar and catch it.
You're like throwing it around.
Yep.
You're creating a big arc. So here's what we're gonna do. Let's do top down. Let's start from a hang clean. So if we reduce leg drive, it's gonna create more explosion out of the hinge pattern. And if you have less leg drive to get this momentum for it to have this arc, if we're here, the high pulls, have you done the high pulls?
Yes, a couple of times. Yeah. And I recognize that. I mean, as soon as I saw the video, I'm like, oh, I'm totally not triple extending. I'm not using the high pull.
The mechanic of the high pull is the foundation of this.
Okay.
That triple extension, boom. So when we're coming up, we're keeping those elbows high, and then we're catching. So if we're coming from a hang clean, think RDL, knees back. There's the top of my knees. Leg drive, hips, high pull, catch.
So when you catch it, are you supposed to catch it immediately in the front squat position, or can your elbows be down and then you push them up?
Technically, you can catch it here. Technically. But this is where nuance and skill level comes into play. Because if I'm going for speed on a lighter press for reps, I'm going to be ripping that thing up and just kind of bouncing it off the catch. But I have fundamental technique that I'm using that as a tool. I want you to catch it in somewhat of a rack position, because if it misgrooves and you're catching it here, it's a yard sale.
Okay.
So because you're strict pressing, I'm trying to do this so I don't cause anyone to overthink. You're strict pressing. But I also want you to have the skill set to push press when you decide to do that. So I want you to have the mechanic to get it here requires more technique and accuracy than to get it here and then get in a position. Because when you get it here biomechanically supported on the delt, you have time to set up your press because you're biomechanically supported with that bar being over your hips on the front delts. So if you land there, you can go set up your strict press, boom.
Okay, well, you just answered my next question, which was about the thoracic.
You've got to stabilize and control. If you catch here, you have less support.
Okay. I'll see you next week.
Sounds good.
I'm loving the conjugate, by the way. It's awesome.
Yes.
Thank you.
This makes my heart happy. We've got a lot of clean and pressing going on nowadays. Bart, good press. Let's take a look at this clean again. Hang clean. See, April, see what he did? He cleaned in a front rack and then set up a strict press. That's all it takes. It's that easy from there.
Yep.
Bart, again, I'm gonna take the same approach I took with Ian. I like how you're doing these right now, and I don't want to over cue you. I just want you to get comfortable with this. That's it. So get another week in with these and let some of these because this is good, man. I love the process here. Just get comfortable.
I'm gonna send from the week behind week ago. It was terrible, and this one clicks.
Well,
you can
it looks whatever you did it.
Thank you. You can probably skip the deadlift because it's a superset, but I had a question about the auto press.
Okay, hit me.
No, like go behind. It's in the second part of the video.
Second parts. Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
So I let go of the bar, and I think it's not the way I supposed to do it.
You like disengage?
Yep, and then I rebrace.
That's called a dead press. That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm working on my lower, like the down part.
Yeah, that's okay. It's a dead press. You're generating a dead stop, pressing out of the hole with no tension, and then generating tension and pressing. Fine.
Yeah, it's like the hardest. Like it was harder than just pauses. Like it's what is that?
Yeah, dead presses are a real thing. I'm doing them right now. Well, kind of. Pressing's a little weird with a torn lat, so.
Thank you, Nick.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
you.
Matt Shepard, rack pulls. Good. Matt, something to think about with rack pulls. If you have a dead zone between like bottom of your knee and where you're pulling now, like a weak point in your deadlift, that is where you can insert rack pulls strategically at those heights. So say like when you're deadlifting, if you stall somewhere around here, put your rack pull there. If you stall just above the knee, put your rack pull there. But the usage of the rack pull is an overloaded deadlift variation because it is the upper end of the rep range. So this is totally fine as long as you're going heavy as shit and maintaining form. So when you have rack pulls in your program, guys, and your technique is sound, you have to push the weight in these because this is a stronger part of your pull. So it has to be overloaded. With that being said, Matt, these look good. I like them. Jonathan, beaten push-ups. I mean, banging these out. I don't know what you want from me here. These look fucking great. Well done. Easy money, dude. Bodyweight squat. Again, you're moving great. This looks too easy for you. I'd love for you to have, if possible, I'd love for you to have the opportunity to see what you look like under like resistance training with some weight because you move well. Your push-ups move well. Your squat form, great ranges of motion. It's together. Well done. I'm limiting it to just because you're a newcomer just for future reference for people. I had to start limiting it too because my form checks were getting well into the 100s. And they take a long time at that point. So for right now, limiting it to. If they keep getting bigger, I'll have to draw back to one or have multiple a week, which is I'm fine with either. So I apologize, John, for having to skip, but that's the rule we've recently had to implement. just so everyone gets their turn. Lisa, back squats. Good. Drive back into the bar sooner, Lisa. Like now. Active input up into the bar sooner. Otherwise, I'm being picky with Lisa. Her squat is great. She's interested in powerlifting. So you're starting to get shallow as well because of lack of input. There we go.
Yeah, I was pretty tired when I was doing these. It was the last set on the 20, 15, 12, and 10 day.
Yep.
I do have a question for you, though, because I just got those fancy new lifters.
Okay.
It does feel better to squat in those. And so my question is there any advantage to training without lifters, or should I just wear them all the time?
Preference.
Okay.
It's purely
So it
preference.
doesn't matter, just whatever I like. Okay.
No, you're not gonna. Is there something you'd think you'd miss out on, or is it just a general question?
It's just a general question.
Yeah,
Like, I didn't know if you train without it, if it gives you any kind of advantage.
No. As someone who trains barefoot 99% of the time, I squat heavy barefoot, it's even overhead barefoot. And even now with this rehab, I'm doing a lot of barefoot stuff just because I'm not doing anything heavy that, I don't need to wear my lifters at the moment. So they don't take away from you doing something barefoot. You're not going to notice change. It's not like you're wearing them. Like if I have a squat day, I squat, I put on my lifters, I'm done squatting, the lifters come off. Everything else is in a training shoe like most people are, or for me, barefoot. So it's preference.
Thanks.
Yes, ma'am. Mike, so we're working on his calf raises. Trying to get a little bit more range of motion out of him. Beautiful. So he wrote in the article that he felt these much more all the way up into his glutes even. So it means he was really clenching everything together to really get into that extension, which is good. It's okay. New movement for him. And I'm glad everything's firing. Creating this rigidity in the foot and the ankle is very, very important for lifting. Especially in lifting in a capacity where you have to move with implements like strongman. It can be the difference on someone being fast or not, just because of the ability to create rigidity in the foot. So it is fundamental when it comes to lifting, squatting, clean and pressing, where we get into that triple extension, generating that tension and the rigidity in the foot. Mike is doing body weight. This is a carryover skill into everyday life. Well done, Mike. Nailed these. All right, your body weight squat progression. Let's see. We backed you up a little bit. We're deeper. Let's go. We're almost there. Mike, I hope you have your first submission, because at the end of this, I want to compare these side by side, and I want you to look at them side by side, because how you're squatting now is colossally different from how you started. And this excites me. This is a really exciting week for your submission, because we are almost all the way down at depth. I want you to push for another inch deeper next week. You're doing fucking awesome, man. Well done. Way to stick with this. Hack squat machines. So there's so many different types of hack squat machines. I can't really see the foot plate, so I don't know what's going on. Hack squat machines, Lillian, I would err on the side of pushing for depth on those because they typically allow you to get a lot deeper than a lot of other squat variations because of the angles that they're on. But I've seen you squat, so I'm gonna say this. I'm not that worried about it for you because when you actually squat, you fucking ass to grass. So I'm not that worried about this for you specifically. It looks right. It's a hack squat machine. It's you kind of fixed in where you can go with that. Split squats look good. Not folding over. Good distance. You may be able to take a little half a foot length out further away because it looks like it's pushing you back down in the hole. But overall, pretty good, man. Jonathan, barbell hip thrust. So he wrote a message. He wasn't sure if he was getting into enough extension. So we're going to take a look here and see. Yes, I'd say it's a little shallow. That's all right. One thing you could do is obviously drop the weight and work on extension, and prime this movement by doing it single legs with no weight. So what I mean by that is do the same thing, but put one leg out like this to kind of prime each side individually. Because if we've never been into a very vivid extension, kind of getting our body to do that might take some convincing. So how I would prime, and you don't have to do much. You don't have to fatigue out. But say I'm doing my right leg and right glute. I'm going to take this leg and just put it out here and drive. Drive. Then switch. Drive. And then come all together. What that extension should look like. You see how I have this plane? So I'm really driving, screwing my upper back into the floor. And I'm almost driving my knees out ever so slightly. Not collapsing, I'm not doing this. It's just a little bit of peeling out. And as I'm rising, I'm staying, I'm not curling under. Typically, what happens at the top of that extension, what limits you, is when we interior tilt our hips, when we curl under, see how much less high I can get versus if I stay in neutral or a little bit of anterior tilt or extension, I can squeeze way more. So if we take a look at your hips, it looks like we have some extension, so that's okay. Let's back off the weight. Let's do the priming exercises I gave you, which is just a single leg on each side. Then do it exaggerated in extension without weight, and then replicate. Get your body to understand the sensory input that comes with getting all the way into that extension. He asked about these as well. No, you're not doing too much with the upper body. It's very subtle. It's very minimal. There's variances of, again, with rows. Some people have a little more English. That's valid. Some people have less. So you're doing them pretty strict. This is a good, happy, I'd say, middle ground. This is great. You're not all body and you're 90% back. So this is doing exactly what we need to do, Jonathan. Well done. And on the high pulls. All right. Colin's lovely wife. So we took her to a hang clean as well. Yes, much better. And these are fantastic. This is 9-day difference. Extension, really get those hips through. Hinge back like an RDL, good. Yep, that's exactly what I want. I'd say even take your arms out. I'd say a finger width wider on each side. One finger width wide, go out slightly, because it's gonna feel better. You see what my shoulders do from here to here? If I go tighter, see how it brings my elbows down? It's harder to high pull. Whereas if I go wider, I can get into that position a little bit better, because a clean position is going to be slightly wider than the deadlift position. So that high pull, this gives us more clearance than this. So overall, great progress from last week. Garrett Owen. Pullovers. So we want to keep those hips stationary. And I prefer you to keep them down so we get a nice big stretch. So what to do with our elbows? When it comes to pullovers, you can have them bent, you can have them straight, you can have them somewhere in between, but we want to keep that position fixed. So we don't, as you're coming up, you're kind of getting a little bit more extension. We're adding some input with our tricep. What we want to do is keep it somewhat in fixed, right? So I'm kind of somewhere in here. My elbows aren't falling out. I'm keeping them in, and I'm keeping them fixed so I'm not extending back up into it. I'm driving, leading with my elbows, keeping my chest proud and hips down, and using the lat. That's about as far as I can go because it hurts. That's the long and the short of it. You've got all the right components. We just need to connect them. Amanda, barbell tempo squats. So we threw in some tempo to her squats. Amanda's really elasticy. She was firing down at like free fall. And I mean, just
Hey, Nick, I'm actually here.
What was that?
I'm actually here. I'm in between meetings, so I'm
Nice.
listening live.
Good. Great. Look at that. Okay, what I want everyone to take note, watch how she unracks. She unracks with some fucking attitude, right? And that has a purpose. Like, we don't want to unrack this lazy, soft, gentle. You don't have to like fire hard into it, but you're going to see a lot of people that compete in lifting, they unrack with intention. Beautiful. Look at that, how we don't have that travel anymore in the bar. When we come up out of the hole, look how it pretty much stays straight. There's a small little deviation right here where it kind of goes blip, but it's a lot smaller than what it used to be. Got a little forward there, but it's okay. Not every rep's going to be perfect. I know mine aren't. So what I want you to look down in when you get towards the bottom, Amanda, is watch your feet, watch your heels.
Okay.
Right there before you bottom out, watch what the heels do.
Oh, I see.
Peel up. Now we get back into our midfoot and heel. So that's technically right here. Whoops. That's a depth. Technically, that's as low as you, quote unquote, need to go. But watch as we approach it, the weight distribution. Let me get back to another. This is good. We're still loaded. Now we got a subtle shift. Boom. Now the heels start to lighten. Look at that. Look how you're coming up.
I see that. And I was gonna say, that's one thing I was gonna ask you if I was able to attend live. So luckily I am. Was that I am noticing, like, I feel my center of gravity shifting about my foot. Like, I'm trying to keep the tripod foot, but I am feeling it shift forward slightly. So this makes total sense.
It's because you're getting down here and this is pushing forward. So what has to happen is your hips have to get up. And then your quads are also trying to get your hips up. So what's happening is, look at that. Right?
Yeah.
God damn it. It happens so fast. That up and right there, that's the money. You come up, but you have to get forward because your hips have to get back out. Because when you get down buried so deep, right there is where it really becomes visible.
Okay.
You're drifting forward because you have this down, 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 and then that residual momentum has to come forward because you have nowhere left to go. So this is great. You'd probably be great in Olympic lifting with like snatching and stuff. Because of your mobility is fantastic. This would come in handy in like a snatch. When we're talking maximal squat, we want range of motion that is at depth or below, but that is advantageous. So when we start getting down into that range of motion where it's not putting us out of position, because look how heel light you are almost all the way to the top. Where do you settle back in? Boom. There. Now you're back into your midfoot. And you're standing all the way up. So you came up out of the hole toe heavy the whole way up until you could get back into position at the top. So that's the thing with these eccentrics. So now what we're going to do is add pauses.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
So we can lighten up on the eccentric. So we can go to about a 2, maybe 3, somewhere in there. I don't care. I just don't want dive bombing is what I'm trying to say. And then I want you pausing. And you can use this. You can lower these even lower if they will go lower. And you can run a band across. So you get input. And you want it to contact right there where the hamstring and the glute attach. So when you have a physical marker and go, yep, that's it. Right about here. That's it. Because in there, you're not right before there, you start to drop forward. That's when the forward happens. See those knees push forward? Watch.
Yeah.
Use the R as a gauge.
Oh, yep. I see it.
Yep. And that's what brings you into your toe. You run out of ankle mobility. And you run out of clearance for your hamstrings. So that's you have mobility and ankle mobility because everyone has a limit. And this is still incredible ankle mobility. This is a lot. You're at such a hard angle here that you just naturally can get to that I couldn't even fathom getting to. And you're still like, I want more room. And then your hamstrings and your calves are like, we ain't got nowhere to go, dog. And then it pushes forward. And because you're out of your ROM and ankle mobility, it brings up the heel.
It has to it's compensating. Like something has to give.
Something has to give. So we're going to shallow you out slightly. You're going to be one of our rarities that I actually have to bring up because your depth is actually putting you out of position. this would be, this is what we're going to go for. So if we run a band somewhere around this height, whether you anchor it to, or you set the pins to that height.
Oh, like the safeties?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what'll happen is, it's not a true pin squat where you're starting at the pins. We're going to have you come down to them with that eccentric so you don't like tink tink and you bounce off and you just wait for them to arrive. You sit for 1,000 up.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
It does sound
Cool.
good because we're going to, you've got power available and it's going to, we're going to polish this to a point where your power doesn't go in the wrong direction. And it's going to give you more throttle sooner out of the hole because you're not going to have to fight to get back and then come up. It's going to be bip, bip.
Sounds great. Cool. Thanks, Dick.
Always. Thanks for making it. Pete. All right. So for context, we elevated Pete's deadlift. I see Benoit's here. We're doing the same thing we did with Benoit's. We're building Benoit's from the top down. Reason being, Pete has been struggling to find position out of the hole. So that's where I, as a coach, have responsibility to meet the person where they are at, not try and force them into something unfamiliar. Their body's telling me something. Let me put their body in a position that it understands, that's together, and we will build that transition down and down and down and down till he's to the floor. So, Pete, I like this. What I want to see in this position, you see how you're sucking your butt down, which is good, but you also do this when you're all the way down, and then it takes you out of position. So this is all right now at this height. This is good. But what I want to see you doing is pulling from there. And when you set up your back, instead of trying to go here and pulling, I want you to pull down and go here. Set here. Don't set here. Pull down and push into your glutes. Push your tailbone to the ceiling, back into your glutes. Every single rep. Even if it means you pull a rep, you go down, you stand up, stand up. So we're ingraining the setup every single time because that's your Achilles heel right now, is knowing where your body's supposed to be and feeling the signals of when it's right versus when it's out. So we're getting everything communicating because brain and body are on two different pages and we're elevating you to a height where they're on the same page. So now instead of a whole bunch of shit we had to try and solve and fix at once, now we can just focus on this one cue.
All right, I'll keep on.
We'll keep this here. I want to see you setting up that lower back. And then once you get that down, we'll drop, 2 inches, run it back.
Excellent.
Well done.
Next video is just further down in the sets.
Okay.
A little bit more weight and a little tighter.
So you're a little out front.
Right. Actually, as far as body,
it's that little drop right here. That's what's doing it. That little drop right there. See how it kind of messed up your groove?
Right.
Pulled up and back with the. So I want you to be more. There. Versus there. So literally it's just going to be you not coming down as far with your hips.
Okay.
And it's
All right.
look how subtle it is.
I made a comment in the post, but I think of all things, the light started coming on later on in this workout. I had some bench presses, and when I really packed my shoulders and arched my back, it's like I could feel it in my legs when I was actually doing my final reps.
Yeah, leg
this is
drive
actually the same
is
position,
real.
but it's horizontal instead of vertical.
Yep. Bench pressing is a full body workout.
But that, of all things, that's where the light sort of went, okay, I'm starting to get it now, because it really helped.
That's good. We'll keep throwing this against the wall and beating it till we get more light bulbs.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Ty, first time clean and press, probably very bad. Yeah, see, watch it be not that bad. And it wasn't that fucking bad. What is it with you people? You guys just assume it's going to be dog shit, and then it's not, and then explosive too. Ty, this is good. You're also almost strict pressing from a push press position. Are you in here?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm here.
Sweet. Do you want to strict press or do you want to learn to push press?
I'd like to learn to push press.
So use your legs.
Okay.
Not that little in strongman we call it Zadrunas big Z leg drive, where it's like the subtlest little like knee bend, but it's all shoulders. So we're gonna get a little bit wider on your leg drive for your press. So like literally this much wider. Like just you're gonna clean, you're gonna dip drive. And in that high elbow rack position, and remember, your hands want to be slightly wider than they are now.
Okay.
So when we get up, boom, in there, we're going to set our feet, then we're going to dip vertically, knees out. So we travel without any of this, no sagging, no hinging. Our butt goes straight between our heels. And it's brace, proud chest, high elbows, peel them out, chin out of the way, dip, dip. So boom, through. Boom, through. And I'm not pressing out, I'm pressing up with some thoracic extension towards the back of my head. And as I get close to that lockout, my head comes through the window. See, it probably isn't very bad. You thought the worst case scenario, and like, it's pretty good.
It's the lack of confidence of never doing it before.
And that's understandable.
Thanks, Nick.
Yes, sir. Push up, am I doing it right? So you're coming down and forward, which is probably why you're feeling some in the shoulder. If you want to come out ever so slightly, so you can kind of get between your hands, don't have to go over and forward. You can kind of maintain that same position. Let me see if I can. Believe it or not, push-ups are actually hard with a banged up lat. We were doing a variation of them in PT, and I was like, my left side was shaking. So you're here, and that's why you're coming down and forward. Versus if we get a little bit outside, slightly in front of our shoulders, we're much more in the chest, and I'm not coming over top my hands. So if you're the floor, you're here, we want to be a little out front of our shoulders, just ever so slightly, so we come down into our chest. And if you think about it, when we're bench pressing, our bar path is kind of here. Bench pressing, it's the same thing. I'm sorry, push-ups, it's the same thing. You're just flipped over. You can double confirm, but I'm pretty confident on that one. Yeah. I'm going to guess a rack pull. Zack Pellman. Looks like. Is he saying
An alternative.
Okay.
Build those. Just added some weight here and elevated platform. Curious if I need to lower weight and slow things down, or consider a different alternative to build those. Just, okay.
All right. Oh, we're doing calf raises. I would like to see a little bit more extension. So it might require lowering the weight and being a little bit more our feet underneath of us. So when it comes to calf raises, the one thing I really look for is that high extension in deep into the ball of the foot and the toes. So you're kind of here. I really want to see it all the way up into the ball of the foot. So it's a big squeeze, creating a lot of rigidity into that versus here. So it's a matter of, in all reality, visually, it's a matter of like a half inch. But that extension recruits a little bit more. And it feels more intense, even with no weight. So I'd bring your feet a little bit more underneath of you and drop weight if you have to, but really focus on pushing all the way up into the very tip top ball of your foot and your toes. I love your willingness to get heavy on these, because calves, a lot of people, let me say it like this. We use them every single day. We're walking. They're getting a shit ton of reps. So they need stimulation. You either got to go really, really fucking heavy on them, or you got to do a shit ton of reps. So when like there's lower reps, like say like somewhere in that, 6, 8, 10, whatever, you got to push weight on calves. I want some context, because
been over row, 385 pounds, looking at 8 reps, just trying to see if I'm doing a full rep and getting everything out of it.
No, not even close. I wouldn't even call this a bent over row. This is like a shrug, a modified shrug almost. There's the top of the row, like where you're starting your row, is like as high as I would go for any sort of body English on a row. So like that's a little bit higher than I would even have someone go, because the row plane requires a certain level of contraction with the back. You're very much in leg drive and upper back and trap extension. So a bent over row, first and foremost, pick it up off the floor. Reason being, I want you to deadlift it, because if you can't deadlift it, you definitely can't row it. Pick it up off the floor in a deadlift position, come up, hinge down like an RDL, row. So when I'm doing, say, like an explosive pen lay row, which is a very common thing in powerlifting, where we come off the floor with leg drive and we move a shitload of weight explosively. I don't even come up this high on my hinge. I'm still staying here to exaggerate and really ingrain the row contraction. We want that contraction. That's a big part of that power in the row. So we need to get range of motion out of this. And you need to get much more over, narrow your stance, hinge over like an RDL, and focus on the contraction and the path that it's supposed to have throughout its range of motion. You're probably going to have to take 100 plus pounds off this. Easy. Which is fine. I'm a world-class strongman. World champion, Zach. And I do explosive pen lay rows with this, somewhere between this and like 450. So I'm in the top 1 percentile of strength sports in something. And this is a lot of weight to row. So, and it's high effort for me. I'm not saying you're not strong. I don't want you to take any of this the wrong way. I don't want you to hurt yourself. And I want you to understand the things that are required to be doing a row. Doesn't mean you can't get here. But we need to ground up, man. Crawl, walk, run. I'd like to see what your row looks like strict, and then we can start playing with the variation with certain levels of body English. So I want to take it all the way down, ingrain good pattern, and then throw some fire on it and see what happens. Nice, Jeremy. Good. Your deadlifts are looking good. They're definitely ticking right along. I want you to focus on that glute squeeze at the top. Everything in between looks fantastic.
That I can do. And that was both a weight PR and a rep PR.
I remember you saying that. That's awesome. So it's this where I want to see those glutes really do their job here.
Gotcha.
And you see how those hips are still kind of turned down ever so slightly?
Yep.
So we want to get those hips through. You do a good job. Shoulder position's good. They're rolled back. They're stacked. Just when you get to this part, this range of motion, starting here, I want you to think squeeze butt cheeks as hard as possible.
That I can do.
Alrighty?
Cool. Appreciate it, sir.
Well done, dude. Congrats on the PR. Stefan, deadlift. Stefan, these are looking better. We're a little low in the hips now. We've gone the other direction. It's okay. Literally go from here to like here. That's it. The knees are going to suck back a little bit, which is going to allow you to go back into your midfoot. We're really far bent over, so that bar's kind of at the end of your toes. Hips are going to come up to right about here. Knees are going to suck back, and then that bar in turn is going to be able to come back ever so slightly. So bring hips up 2 inches at the most. But I like how you're bearing the weight better. Your hips aren't flying up. We're not stiff leg deadlifting this. You're using a weight your core can support to avoid a fold. These are good things. Sandra, seated dumbbell clean and press. Those are pretty good. It's hard to see what the bar path looks like from the front on the swing and the
Yeah.
actual clean portion. But it looks good. It doesn't look like you're struggling on the clean.
Great. Thanks.
Yeah, fantastic. The press looks great too. Bar path, settle right in, press over your head to lockout. Yeah, great job.
Awesome. Thanks, Nick.
Yes, ma'am. Jacqueline, what do we got? We got a lot of thinking. Aha, new movement. Okay, that's why we're thinking. Alrighty, so when you pick this up off the floor, I want you to stand all the way up, Jacqueline, all the way to lockout. Just picking it up, just deadlift it. Just deadlift in every sense of the purpose. Stand all the way up. Brace, hinge down like an RDL. Hips come back, knees bend slightly, and you'll hinge down into that hang clean position. Now, from there, you get your brace right before you hinge into it. We need to get the hips back so the glutes can do their job. You're squatting, you're sitting. We want hinge because when you come up off the floor, that's the position you're going to be in there so the hips can come through. You don't want to squat down into it. See how your shoulders are behind the bar? We're not in line. We want the input to be completely vertical. So the weight has leverage advantage. We want you to have leverage advantage. See how you come back into it? Now the weight is behind the shoulder, probably because it's light and you can manipulate it. But you see how you're kicking it out in a way? I want to see what you do with a high pull. Next week, I don't want you to worry about cleaning. I want to see what a high pull looks like. Those triple extension, hips through, it coming vertically, getting into extension, and it coming straight up, not out and around. So let's dissect this one step further. Let's get a hang clean position, high pull, and then we'll go into the hang clean. Laura, Brandon, bench press. Yes. Great bar path, Laura. Are you squeezing your butt? It looks like you're squeezing your butt.
Yes.
So this is pretty intact. There's not a lot. The only thing that really stands out is when you come out of the rack right here, I want to see the contraction, the squeeze. Bit. So you come up, you come out, brace, try and break the bar and get into that chest proud so the shoulders are packed into our back. Everything else you're doing fantastic.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Becky, deadlifts. Good.
Yay.
I like these.
It's amazing. I'm surprised. That's good. I guess I was being hard on myself when I was watching them.
You're a little out front.
Okay.
See this giant gap right? You're almost like over your toes, or where I imagine like the end of your toes would be. That's what it looks like. We want that bar ideally over midfoot.
Okay.
Now there's going to be variation within that, closer, a little bit further. It's going to be person to person and our leverage, but we want that bar a little bit like somewhere over this right here. And it's going to cause you to kind of have to sit into. So what's going to happen is when you bring that bar closer, the shoulders are going to have to compensate and come over the bar. So all that you're going to do, if this fist is your shoulders, this fist is your hips, when you bring that bar closer, all you're going to do is this. It's just slightly rotate. You don't need to change anything else. Don't change anything else. You're just going to compensate by slightly orienting. Hips are going to go here. Shoulders are going to come back.
Okay.
All right.
Yep. Sounds good.
Jeanette, high pulls. Good. It's a strict dumbbell high pull. Well done. You're getting better at these, Jeanette. Nice job. Talia, push-ups. Those are good. Yes, ma'am. Those are solid push-ups. I need a little assistance on that one. Good. We're getting into that effort where we're touching failure. I like them. Bodyweight squats. Overall, good. I would be curious to see if you took your foot out. There we go. See how you just pointed that toe out? I want to see if you took your foot width out an inch each side. That is it. No more than. Just a little bit. So what I want to see happen is get them out. What that's going to do is going to take your pelvis and that femur angle and align that a little bit more out, because I'm looking at your hip width here, and it looks like your hips start to break sooner than they should. That little wink where the hips go into flexion at the bottom. And I want to get basically your femur line lined up with your pelvis. So if we take those foot width out, turn the toes out, and as we squat, I want you to drive your knees out over your pinky toes. And what that's going to do is turn that out, you're going to feel some glute tension. You should feel some glute tension. Squeeze your butt, sit down. Don't think about necessarily reaching. Sit down, let the depth come to you. And we're just generating more tension, a little bit more alignment. Because you're very straight right now. And I think if we turn this angle right here a little bit more like this, I think we're going to notice how that will kind of keep you a little bit more steady. Alex, deadlift, dumbbells. These are good. Good hinge pattern. Look at that. Nice neutral lumbar. I don't know what the rep range is here, but I think you can push weight a little bit, Alex. That was good. When you pick them up, I want you to brace, stand all the way up, exhale, rebrace, down, up, rebrace, down, up, and so forth. Get in a cadence. But your hinge actually looks very good. Benoit. All right, let's see. We've got a contrast here. Perfect. Clicks in pain. Yeah, it makes sense. When you press here, look how the shoulders kind of flare out and drive versus look at the composure here. Also, food for thought, because I don't like racking behind me on a shoulder press because it hurts. I actually turn the bench facing the rack. It's a little unorthodox, but it's your home gym. I actually unrack and then sit back into my bench, and then I press. I unrack in front of me. I go a little bit lower, so it literally is like this. If I'm pressing at this angle, I will have the rack here, and I'll just kind of punch it up out of the rack and then sit back, 6 inches, whatever it is, and go into the press. So I don't have to reach back here. But the one that doesn't have pain looks better. Yes. See how you went down and back? That's exactly what you need to do. I see he's here. Looks like he stepped away for a sec. So this is already better than the last time you showed me these because you're not reaching all the way forward and coming out of position in the cable press. You're staying tight together and back into the chest. And you should feel that more in the chest. Nathan, he's unsure on these front squats, but his squat's been looking pretty good. So toes out. Good width. Yes, good rack position. Fantastic, Nathan. I like all this. I want to see what the depth looks like. Okay, so you've got all the right things here. Go a little bit deeper than you think you're going. That's it. Just sit a little bit deeper. What I want you to do is actively, to kind of fight that fold, peel, keep those elbows high as shit. Pull them out. And what that'll do, and I don't want you to drive them out with your arms. I want you to pull them out with your back. And that will keep everything intact higher up the chain, generating some of that upper back tension. Mirjam, hey. Okay, so she was, if I remember correctly, she was asking about the twisting she's doing with the dumbbell row. It is fine. You don't have to do it. The main thing is your position. See this flexion right here? I want to get you out of flexion, and I want to get you in neutral. So being here, it's subtle, but I want you to turn your tailbone to the sky. So I want you to pick them up. I want you to brace, hinge down into neutral, keeping that tailbone turned up, belly button to the floor, proud chest. You can have whichever way. You can even do 3/4. You can even do like this and maintain them. I don't want you to row up here. I want you to row towards your belly button. Think somewhere in the midsection in this belly button area. Think elbows going up and back. Overall, not bad at all. I mean, it's very subtle changes we're making that will probably make these feel significantly better. These aren't bad. They can just be better. So you're going to row somewhere in here, and we're going to straighten this out by squeezing with the back, pushing that belly button to the floor, turning the tailbone to the sky. You've got a lot of good things with them. So we're just going to polish it, make it pretty. Something similar. Yeah. All right. Okay, so I'll count this as a second one because it's a different lift. Future reference, 2 videos per person. There's a lot of newcomers, so I'm just reiterating it just so everyone knows. Same thing with that cue, with this lumbar, is we want to get that in position. So you have the overall deadlift. This isn't bad. We need to get this flexion right here. We need to get that tailbone to the sky. So what I want you to do is hinge at the hips first, then bend at the knees, down, up. I don't want you to go any deeper to where your range of motion makes you come out of neutral. So that's where it's going to stop with this deadlift. We can build from there. So tight, brace, hip hinge, knees bend, up. Maintaining that neutral lumbar the entire time. Justin Taliata, deadlift. Good. So one thing, it's going to be subtle. I want you to take your hips, bring them up and back to right about here. It's going to suck your knees back. And what's going to happen is you're going to have to rotate back into, I call it sitting into your glutes. So when we bring that up a little bit, the knees will have to come back. And that bar will be a little bit closer to midfoot because it looks like we're more over the toe. So we want to get that bar closer to the middle of your foot. You've got a strong back. Everything's staying together, which means there's a whole lot more on the table once we get you in the ideal position. But this is good, man. Good things. Yeah, great. We got a little bit of body English, but these are big curls. So I'm not I don't come from the world of the strict there's some deviation in clearance that requires for a barbell that is different than a dumbbell. You can get way stricter with dumbbells. These are fine, man. I'm totally okay with these. Emily Lawrence. It looks like we got some back squats. Let's see what we got. Good unrack. Yep. Steps out into position. Good setup. All right. That little bit of jump down into it, we want to nip that in the bud. I want you tight and together before you descend. So what it looks like broken down. Look, you just took all that, you screwed in, you got tight, you got in position, heels planted, weight in your midfoot. Now you just put it all into your toes. And what has to happen is it makes you come forward. Look, you went from there, and then you got forward. Then we descend. Then look, heels come up. We never recovered from being forward. We want to stay in that midfoot and heel and grab the floor with our toes. So the whole time you're coming up, look, heels are still light, midfoot still light. And then now, look, now you come back. That was better, wasn't as drastic. So the whole time, I want you to focus on squeezing your butt, bracing, descending, break at the hips, sit to the back of your heels. Slow it down. Add in some tempo maybe. Let's go 3 count. Just like we did with a few other people here. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, up. You've got good technique overall. It's just how you're starting is impacting how you're finishing. So we can keep the technique in the position and put it in a different spot and create stability from top to bottom. Overall, good job. We're polishing this. It's not a complete overhaul. You're in a good spot. Chris A, deadlift. Good. Chris, that was good. Back up, back down. Good. Getting his start position dialed in. I love this. Every rep the same, from a dead stop. Set up to finish. Knew it wasn't there, called it. That's okay. Chris, well done. I love that. That was a really good set. Laura, deadlift. Also good. Laura, the one thing I want you to focus on is this, the brace. We kind of I want you to set that back. So when we pull in tension, I want you to get set, pull in, brace, squeeze down into core, create that pressure, 360. That's what's going to support that back. Inputting the physical cue of setting it up, boom, and then and holding it. Holding on to it with your brace. Do not let the weight get that real estate. Overall, both of you, great job. Becky, low pin squat. Becky, if you're still in here, you see how the last like 2 inches you're folding down to the pins, anticipating them?
Yeah, I could feel that.
I want you to just keep sitting. That's it. Okay. I don't think this doesn't have anything to do with your ankle or hip mobility. We're playing a mental game here. So we need to get you just continuing to sit as if the pins aren't there and letting them arrive. So bracing, getting set, holding that real estate, and just sitting down. I want you to think of it as simple as that.
Okay.
All right?
So just keep telling myself, sit down, sit down, sit down.
Yep. Sit down, squeezing with the upper back, and then as you come up out of the hole, then you fire up into the bar with your whole body.
Okay.
All right?
All right, I'll give it a try.
Yes, ma'am. Dan, clean and press. Good. I want to see a little more thoracic extension for the strict press. So you're doing it a little bit. You're kind of getting here. I want you to really extend and squeeze with that upper back and get those shoulders stacked up onto your back to press and then get through. Everything else is looking fantastic. Just when you're starting the press, you're having to kind of still clear your head. See how you have this little bit out and around? When we get into that thoracic extension, we roll the shoulders back and down, and we're here. I don't have to come out. I can go straight up, drive to the back of my head, and then get through. All right, that was the last one. We are 2 hours, 49 minutes in. We've curbed the herd. We've culled the herd. We're down to 24. We started with like 60 some. Understood. Not everyone has 3 hours to dedicate to this. So for those of you that were able to sit through this, I appreciate it. We already got a raised hand. Blanca, go ahead.
Sorry, I have a question. I uploaded the videos at the start of the call, but I don't think they're there.
Let me see. Oh, there they are. Got them. Let me go back. Let me share real quick. So where in this range of motion are you getting pain? The whole time? Is there a certain part?
So when I'm going down, I did notice in one correction that you did in another video, the other person was lifting too high. So I don't know. Is when I go down and also it's on my back. I don't know what's the name of that. In the back of my shoulder.
The rear delt?
Yeah, that. Under that. Yeah.
So it's when you're down here.
Yes. And it's the elbow and then on the back.
So I want you to try and start pressing instead of out here, start putting them here in this plane.
Oh, okay.
And I don't want you to focus on really pushing to get deep. I want you to stop when your body feels a natural resistance and then press back up towards your face. So what that looks like is if I'm coming down here to my brow line, and then I'm pressing back up towards my face. Nice controlled. And I want you to slow it down. I want you to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want you to just sit with some time under tension and experience the range of motion, slow it down, and do a weight that is challenging under that, but is not uncomfortable pain-wise. And let's see how that feels when we also get our shoulders back and down underneath of us so we aren't putting it into our shoulder.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense? It's going to take some practice.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And then you feel it on curls.
Yes. Oh, that's on the elbow. Yeah, I don't know if I'm
Is
doing
it
it
just that
correctly.
variation or all curls?
Yeah, all of them. Yeah, all of them. I feel it on the
What happens
elbow.
if you curl and do a reverse curl like this?
That seems okay.
Have you tried that variation?
No.
So when you do your curls, I want you to do let's take some tension off of that with that strict concentration curl, because if we're getting pain there, last thing we want to do is add a position where it really isolates torque into that portion. So if you're going to do a curl, you can do them seated on either side of you and try reverse and see what happens. Try neutral and see what happens. And then don't worry about going completely supinated. You can try 3/4, and you can even do them standing, and you can come across your body like this. It's going to be a much less, because there's tendons that rotate and slide when we rotate our arm. And we go like this, we put a lot of torsion on our elbow. So if we go from here and just simply go here, it's going to feel like a more natural angle and create less tension in that elbow. So you can try some of those and then get back to me and let me know how they feel.
Okay, thank you.
All right? Yes, ma'am. Benoit, go ahead.
Hello, Nick. Yes. First, for Blanca, if I may, the way I interpreted the video on how to do it on the dumbbell curl, like we see Arnold saying that we have to fully stretch, and then I thought that I had to release the tension in my bicep when it's down below. and that may have created the tendon inflammation. While if I keep some tension at the bottom, even though my arm is straight, then it removes the inflammation from the tendon. It avoids that. I don't know if you agree or what, but
Yeah. That's in a nutshell what I was kind of. It's finding ways to reduce leverage into the joint, and when
because I had the some kind of beginning of tennis elbow last week when I did my dumbbell curls, and I was laying a little bit backwards on the bench to improve that stretch, but I was fully releasing the bicep and even forcing with the tricep to fully stretch before flexing again. And then like the day after, then the pain was there. So I said, okay, I must be doing it wrong, misinterpreting the video from Arnold in the app.
which is easy to do. Seeing it and then interpreting it into motion without motor skill pattern. It's a process.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
all.
And now I think I missed my my video.
Mm-hmm.
I had to be absent for a few minutes here and there. So I didn't know what you said about the one where we see that I have pain and we see that it seems to be the same movement, but then there's absolutely no pain.
It was, you could see the difference in what your shoulder was doing, in a nutshell. Just so I don't repetitive and I can get to everyone. I went over that, and I also gave you an option on unracking in a different way.
Okay. Actually, about unracking, where should I place the seat? Because sometimes I hit the J hooks.
I answered that. So I'm going
Okay.
to stop you now because I gave you an option to unrack in front of you.
Okay.
Because that's how I do it. I don't
Okay.
do seated like barbell press behind me anymore because it hurts my shoulder.
Okay.
So I actually unrack and then go back to my seat. And then I can screw in my shoulders like you did on the one that said perfect, and the one that didn't, because that was the difference. You could see that shoulder flaring on the press versus the one that didn't hurt where it wasn't. That was the main difference. So I went into a little bit of depth on the way to unrack that will alleviate that really far back position, because I fucking hate that for me personally. Some people can, I can't.
Okay. And for the cable press, I had the tip or the cue to touch my biceps together instead of pushing the cable far in front of me. Is it a good cue to, like, you push in the cable, but then you focus on bringing your biceps together, like they don't.
Because a fly isn't how far can I push it out in front of you. It's coming here and coming. Remember, it's the same as a bench press, down and back. So to stay in that, we have to focus on together and not away.
Yeah. And what do you do with the counterweight? Like I struggle a lot to stay in that position due to the weight that comes from the pulley at the top. So
the counterweight, so you can stay in position.
Yes.
You fight back.
Okay, and when I try to have the proud chest, then I lose the not the brace, but the counter weight effect. So I fall behind. So would
you need to get a steeper angle. So like if you're here, right? When I've done cable chest flies, I go one back, one forward. Here, if it's like a really heavy fly, I lean into it a little bit more. Like I'm getting a little bit more over.
Mm-hmm.
So my weight is the counterweight.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Lisa, go ahead.
Hi. I have some questions about adapting how to work out with one hand because I'm getting carpal tunnel surgery in a bit, so it's going to be a while before I can push or even grab a bar. And I'm kind of stupid sometimes when it comes to like figuring out alternate things to do. So I'm not asking for like specific exercises, but just sort of general suggestions.
So you're basically not going to be able to hold on to things.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to grab at first. I haven't had my pre-op appointment, so I don't know how long that's going to be a limitation. And I'm not going to be able to do things like, push-ups. So pushing and pulling is very limited.
A cuff with a ring on Amazon, and you can attach it anywhere that's clear of where the cut is on your forearm. And you can do flies, you can do curls with it anchored lower on your forearm. You can do tricep stuff with it anchored, extensions. So there's you can do raises with the cuffs with it anchored to the D-ring. The other thing, if your gym has a safety squat bar.
Yes.
With the handles. So you can kind of rest your hands on them without squeezing them. Or you can kind of rest them around the sides and it'll stay on top of you so you can still squat.
Okay. I probably wouldn't be able to do that one at first because I wouldn't be able to get the bar in the rack. Like it would just be too heavy. Like I can. That's
fine. Or ask someone to do it for you. Be a problem.
Yeah, if I can find somebody to help.
Be a problem. Like whatever. Deadlifting, hinge patterns. I mean, you've seen what I'm doing. That's an option.
My husband laughed at me. He's like, I'm like, do you have any straps? And he laughed at me. He's like, you're not doing that. I'm like, okay.
Spud Inc. also makes a harness that then anchors a strap attachment in the front. You just slide into the harness and then you can deadlift. The other alternative, the SSB, good mornings. So you can still get into that. You kind of just tuck it here, or you can zercher it. You can come up underneath like this. Squat that way. You can good morning that way. They're going to be hard, but it's a valid option.
Hey, actually, you know what? I forgot about that. I did that once when I first strained my wrist a long time ago.
Take that SSB, come around it, and then tighten back and hinge pattern to mimic the leg drive on a deadlift. You hinge over, and then you get that slight little knee bend. So you're mimicking the hinge of a deadlift versus a good morning is like an RDL, but the weight's up here, right?
Okay.
So if you go down with a good morning and add a little bit of leg bend, it puts you more of a deadlift position. I've done that as well. You have options. Don't stress. And don't be afraid to experiment. You know how to brace. You know how to create neutral spine. You know how to do things safely. You know how to play conservative. Have fun experimenting.
I'm going to try to go into it with that attitude. I will try.
All right. Roscoe, hit me.
Hey, so the new audience participation programs that are coming up sound fun, but I've got this lumbar radiculopathy thing I've got to be aware of that I'm going to work with Brian, your guy, with.
Yep.
So I was just wondering if you had any suggestions for which of the programs might work best with that in mind.
Are you pain symptomatic?
I get like some minor pain and like numbness and tingling down the leg with squats, sometimes deadlifts, but I got to be careful about those right now while I'm doing PT.
So I'm gonna say this because I know your PT is the same guy I saw on Wednesday.
Okay.
Ask him that question.
Okay.
Let him know what you're doing. Let him know what's required of it. And this is kind of fun. This is alleviating for me, is because your PT is now my PT is now your PT, which I think is cool. Ask Brian.
Okay.
He's working on you. You're in really, really good hands. So let him be your input and your compass there.
All right. He's not answering emails yet. Should I just get a number and call the office, or?
Yes, you can. I'll let him know to look out for you. Dude is a one-man band. He's so busy, he actually just hired, because he just started his own private practice, about a year old now.
Okay.
He got to the point where he had to hire someone, and from what he said to me, she's really awesome. So he's gotten to the point where he needs help. He's been swamped.
Got it.
So let me reach out to him, and you've got my email. You've emailed me before, so send me shoot me an email with your contact info, and I'll tell him what and who to look out for and how he wants you to contact him direct, since you're kind of going through me.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Will do. Thank you.
Cool. Susan, hit me.
Morning, Nick. Well, first day of retirement, I fucked up my back on a dumbbell deadlift.
Okay.
Went to PT, and he pretty much, it's funny. It's like what Ketch described, where I hold the position down below and hold very light weights, he said.
Isometrics.
Right, isometric. So I'm doing that. It's still, like, today feels pretty much the same. I mean, he put me in more positions than I'd been in since my 30s. So, but today it's real tight. Just feels like it's completely knotted up back there. And it's nothing serious. It's just a sprain or strain.
Yep.
Any suggestions on loosening all that up? I've got a heating pad that I've been sitting
I
on.
rely on body work heavily, like sports massage. My sports massage, she basically cut the tip of one of her fingers off, and I couldn't see her for 6 weeks, and then I tore my lat because my left side was so bound up. It is not a coincidence.
Okay.
You could see a difference in my traps. Like, one was like super bound up, and one was a little bit bound up, and the one that was super bound up tore. Not the trap, but the lat, because it restricted my mobility and my lat doing its job. It's not a coincidence at all that happened, then my lat tore.
Okay.
So I didn't have body work for 6 weeks, and then I got injured. That's how big of an impact it's made for me. And she's had 2 sessions, and like, I went from this range of motion last week to I can get almost over my head with a torn lat that I'm not even supposed to stretch. Like, shit works. And you're rehabbing from a tweak. Now's an important time to go do that. Other than that, you gotta remember, mobility work isn't just the thing that's tight. You've got to work the things that are attached to it. You've got to stretch the glutes, stretch the hamstring, stretch the mid back, stretch the upper back, the neck. Like, you've got to attack the chain. Not just my back's tight, I got to focus on my back. Because odds are it's tight because those are tight because it's tight.
Yeah, he worked on a lot of things, just up my spine, my ribs. It was pretty interesting. I've never been through that before. He showed me an exercise. Well, it's not an exercise, but laying on a ball to loosen the area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and the worst part is it all comes undone when I sleep, because in the morning I'm a mess. But
Yeah. I mean, your body
just limber up. Yeah.
So it's creating tension even when you're not actively doing it.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of the stretching and finding and experimenting some of those things, and realistically, because you're working with someone, I don't want to input too much because he's had hands on you and I haven't.
Yeah. And I mean, it seems like it's going to be just working at it, and it's nothing super serious, which I was relieved. So my first sports injury.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, there we go. I feel like a badge of honor.
What a badge that one is.
Well, it'll teach me not to get in a hurry when I'm deadlifting.
I mean, you seem in good spirits. That's the hardest part, the mental game with this. So,
Well, I can do my workouts as long as I just do the bending and the big movements with no weight and do isometrics. I can still do my incline bench and in those, upper body. He said that's fine.
Yep.
So just be careful with the others. I got to do isometric. So
Okay.
I'm gonna work my program with 0 weight.
There you go.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. Anyone else before we wrap this up? 3 going once, going twice. All right. Well, I will catch you guys next week. It was really awesome to see a bunch of new faces in here. So thank you guys for showing up. I meant to mention this at the beginning, but I got wrapped up in doing what I do here. For anyone that is going to the Wisconsin thing, the meetup, Jen is putting on, because there was such a bunch. There's a little meetup. Matt Meston is taking the lead. So if you have any questions, at a place called Distillery at 5. So if they're doing like a little member-driven meetup outside of the actual thing on Saturday, if any of you guys were interested, there's a group in the look at Jen's article, I think, or either the meetups group, and you can get involved that way. So sorry, Jen, I meant to do that at the beginning. Anyways, I'll catch you guys next week. Thanks again for showing up.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.